So we start off this with our main character Raymond reciting a poem, which is sort of brings us into the narrative, as we're obviously unsure as to what he's doing at first. So we want to read on and watch on.
To be my bride in all your satin and lace, and when you are there by my side.
So note how the poem is related to potentially one person.
And in that moment I make you mine. My heart.
So we're just stuck on one shot, which is kind of a long shot, but it also gives us his surroundings. So that shot's obviously got quite a good meaning to it. And then we present him with his name.
My wife, a lot, a very lot.
So now we note how he's talking about his wife, and we have a close-up to show his emotion, and then we cut to the action when he talks about his budgie.
It don't make a lot of noise. It doesn't cost me much to feed, and I don't have to clean him out.
So this close-up's really catching the emotion of the man. So we've already seen his surroundings, so now we've got other things going on as well. We've now got a different shot where he's got a cigarette, as he's talking about now. So everything's relative to, all the shots are relative to what he's saying. For example, this, when he's talking about something, we cut right into the action. So again, that shot has great meaning, which is why so far this has been a very successful documentary.
Because Yorkshire's the best team there is, you see.
So now, in this documentary, we've heard about something that's meaningful to him. Now we've heard about another common meaningful thing for him, which is cricket. So we've heard about cricket and his wife. So we're learning more about the character, and we're, as an audience, gradually becoming closer to him and caring for him.
My son who was killed by the taxi driver.
So again, there's a link to the cricket, which we like, so now we're drawn to him, and now we feel empathy for him for the loss of his son.
And he's in this bowl, his ashes are in here. Weird? Well, that's his cricket
So we just stuck on a sort of mid-long shot here, so we can see his surroundings, we can see what he's talking about, but we can also see his facial expressions to show his emotion. So now we bring in this piano, which is very effective, as it's what we're talking about is now emphasised by the music of the piano.
Then down into the coffee bar.
And note how we cut to the action again with the coffee shop. So he's saying, I go down to the coffee shop to have a coffee, and there we are with that shot. So we have visual to link with what he's saying.
Then it's over to the Conservative Club.
So we follow him through his journey. So everything he's talking about, we're actually seeing firsthand as well as an audience. So I think this is again the whole way of in a documentary how you must build a relationship between the audience and your subject. And in this case, it's been done very well, as when he's talking about what he's doing, we're following him almost as a shadow. So we see how happy he is doing things like going to the pub and having coffee.
Come up to my boring flats, have my tea.
So note how the music changes from a major to a minor key as he's talking about his boring flat.
I wouldn't say I was ecstatic about it, but that's it. I've had my
So a minor key has emphasised the fact that we should now feel sorry for him. This follows Freytag's pyramid kind of thing, as we've had the main part where he does his coffees and stuff, and now it's sort of the falling of the action with him being back in his home, having a couple of coffees,
I don't think I'll ever go
and then a meal and some television. So we're all sort of feeling for him now. And then again with that last shot of the Elvis Presley and him in the mirror and his signs and his posters on the wall, we see his care for him. So again we're continuing to care for our character. And now obviously he's talking about his friends. So again we sort of come back on this emotional roller coaster with him of the ups and downs, and now we're kind of happy for him again.
They're lovely downstairs, yeah, lovely.
So he's talking about things he likes.
Only me to please. So no arguments, no wives
So we're on a change
No,
of
no,
shot
no.
here. We're not going for
Just
the
me.
straight on one
Lovely.
because obviously it's a different time it's been filmed, which I actually like because you're changing things up
As long as
rather
you
than
wake
looking at the
up in
same
the
shot.
morning, well, worry.
And note how, as it's a different interview, so he
If I
faded
don't
to
wake
black
up
and
in
then
the
back
morning,
on.
I won't be worried at all.
And the music continues at the end to roll the credits. I think that's very effective because we've had the music throughout and it's a really nice way to finish off the short film. So I'll now be talking about conventions I've noticed of a documentary. So to recap, the conventions of a documentary that I found out from this is that you need to use mise-en-scène, camera work, sound and editing to build a relationship between the audience and the character. So this makes us build emphasis and sympathy for our character in this situation. So when he's talking about all the things that make him sad, we as an audience feel sad with the major to minor key of music to follow this. And also when he's talking about happy things, we have a major key. For example, when he's in the coffee shop and we see the close-ups of him laughing, so we are always with our character in his emotions, which I think is a very useful and common part of a documentary. Another part is sound bridges seem to be very common of a documentary, as obviously all the time he was talking, but we could always see what he was talking about. So basically, all the shots that we would film of say not the interview, they would all not really have much sound, bar at the conservative club that he said he went to. So so most of the documentary will be a sound bridge. Another thing I've noticed is the color corrections actually just pretty normal because you're concentrating mainly as it's you don't have to care too much for lighting as you're concentrating mainly on your subject and the subject matter and what he's saying. So I think it's very important to have shots that follow where they're from, as that's probably your main focus really. So yeah, those are some conventions that I've learned of a documentary after studying this documentary, and I'll now carry out another documentary analysis of a different one. Thanks for watching.